Hey, FTK, welcome back. We have a very special guest with us today. It's Leya Tanit, the founder and CEO of Pineapple Support. This organization does an incredible amount of work to help protect the mental health and be there for folks in the adult entertainment world. And so, Leya, thank you so much for joining us today. I know you're very busy.
Well, thank you very much for having me, Mac. It's wonderful to chat with you all.
Absolutely. So let's get into a little bit about what Pineapple Support does. So you were founded when, in 2018, is that correct?
Yes, we actually launched in April 2018, and it was a result of, or created as a result of the suicides that were occurring within the industry, predominantly at the end of 2017, beginning of 2018. Where there were 5 very well-known female performers who took their own lives. And upon digging deeper into this, I discovered that there wasn't just those 5. There were the 5 the media was interested in. Suicide's contagious, and there were hundreds of performers that were following suit and ending their lives. So that the concept was birthed in the January of 2018, and we launched in the April. So it was quite swift.
Very fast. And I remember the media coverage, around those suicides. And you're right. I mean, just real quickly, this morning, I just took a real quick look and found very quickly 22 professionals who had taken their lives that have, already, and I'm sure there's a lot more. And what you're doing is fantastic. What I was looking on your website, what I really loved was you provide your services to quite a few people, but you have a subsidized, so people who can't afford it can still get it.
Yes.
Right?
So we have we provide a number of different resources, and that starts at 24/7 emotional support that's run by volunteers. So anyone listening today can sign up as a volunteer. You take an active listening course, and then you can offer your services as and when you are free. It's literally you mark yourself as available, and if someone wants to chat, they just have an ear to listen. And then you can follow on through that. I think it's about 50 or so additional courses you can take, one of which we actually wrote ourselves, which is how to provide support to people working in the sex industry. As well as that, we have support groups. We have 5 regular drop-in support groups, which are completely free of charge and commitment free. And then every month we have a themed support groups that might be around sexual trauma, ADHD, being on the spectrum. We have workshops, we have events, we have all sorts. But the resource you mentioned just before, which was the one-on-one therapy, with that we currently have around 300 therapists, and they are based in across 5 continents. I think between them now they speak 19 or 20 languages, which is just incredible. It means we have such a scope of folks that we can provide care to. The way that the therapy works, or the application for therapy works, is when you apply, you let us know what you can afford. So it's the only resource that we offer that we do ask for a contribution towards. If you can't afford anything, then you can't afford anything. That is an option as well. We don't force the contribution, but the more you're able to contribute, the more people that we're able to help. So it really is a pay it forward type scenario. We provide our services specifically to folks working in the online adult industry. That's down to resources, that's down to the amount of money that we have coming in, and also the companies that give us that money and that support us.
Right. So I was looking, you do have a lot of sponsors, but I don't think people probably quite grasp how much it takes to run an operation like yours. And so I'm sure that the need far outweighs what's coming in. And so we will make sure to put in links to the website in this video and interview to make sure people can go and support you if they can. I mean, I'm sure any amount is beneficial.
Absolutely. Any amount helps. And if that amount comes in monthly, even better.
Absolutely. A little recurring donation. And you're a 501c3, so it's tax write-off. Absolutely.
It is, yeah.
You were talking about needing more volunteers. Now, are all of your volunteers, do they have to be like licensed therapists?
No, so we have the volunteer listener service, and that can be anyone. As I said, that can be anyone listening today. if you know somebody that you think might be interested in supporting the adult industry and in that way, because it's not easy, you know, it's you are still going to be taking on a lot. That as the amount of time you give is up to you, but you know, it's only a certain type of person has that in them. But the rest of our services, the webinars, the support groups, and the one-on-one therapy, they're all certified therapists, mental health practitioners, counselors.
Perfect. Let me ask you, how many requests per month are you getting now?
We're getting around 220.
That's a lot.
Individual therapy, yeah. So, you know, you were just saying before, we do have a lot of sponsors, but when you look at the average amount per hour therapy costs, and we get reduced rates from our therapists, but most charge us $100 an hour.
Wow.
And if you can imagine that we have at any one time between 220 and 260 people in therapy every week.
Ooh, yeah, that's costing an arm and a leg.
That's costing an arm and a leg. That's why we ask people to pay what they can, and that's why we desperately need as much support as possible.
Now, when you say, you know, in the online and in the adult industry, are we talking about just film stars, or are we talking about people who are in the cam world as well? And, you know, and even, I mean, you know, I'm in Nevada, right? So we have legalized brothels in Nevada. And I know that a lot of those ladies have they need help as well. I mean, does it cover all of that?
No, we cover folks who have an online presence, such as cam, porn, fan sites. That's the majority of the umbrella. There are a few reasons why we don't provide care to the full service sex workers. And if you're a full service sex worker who also works online, that's no problem. You can also have a job in McDonald's. You can also have a job doing whatever else, but you must have an online presence. Because as I said, that's where our funding comes from. We don't get funding from the brothels. We don't get funding from the strip clubs. And because of the fact that full service sex work is not legal in every state, some of the companies that do sponsor us wouldn't want, and because of all the regulations coming in with everything else, the companies that sponsor us are put in a very difficult position if they're associated with an organization that also is associated with full service sex workers. So it gets very complicated.
They have to protect their brand.
Yeah, there is the SWAP USA who have amazing resources for full service sex workers, as well as the Cupcake Girls in Nevada and Oregon.
Absolutely. Let's talk a little bit about, if you don't mind, let's talk about a little bit about what drives this need so much. Because I remember back in 2017, it was the online trolling, right? It was the online trolling and people beating up on folks. I mean, we're always going to have an asshole. I know we're going to always have that. So is that mostly what's driving this need, the outside pressures?
I think what drives the need, and the reason that we're here, is stigma. Because if there wasn't any stigma surrounding the adult industry, then adult entertainers would be able to go to any therapist and not be stigmatized. They'd be able to get mental health or mental health included in their insurance, or even insurance at a decent price, particularly in the US. You know, for anyone, and you know, I use this scenario a lot, that when people are in the adult industry and they are stigmatized by the general public and by Joe Blogs on the street, and the other mother at school finds out, and you know, and the family and some of your friends find out, they disown you, then you go to a therapist because you've got depression or anxiety or whatever other very normal mental health struggles, because we all have them.
Yep.
And you go and see a therapist, and then the therapist tells you, well, probably because you're in the adult industry. I mean, can you imagine that downward spiral when you're already self-doubting, hearing something over and over again, and then you go to see a professional who you respect, whose judgment you respect, and they agree with what everyone else has been saying to you.
100%.
There were so many suicides.
In the BDSM world, we try to provide a lot of lists because, medical care, I mean, obviously, as you probably know, and people who practice BDSM, they cannot get a lot of care because a lot of what we do is technically not legal. And so that provides a big issue. And it's kind of amazes me in 2022, almost 2023, that we still have such stigma around this, considering that during like the pandemic, the amount of people who were on Pornhub while they were at home, I mean, it was the majority of America, I can tell you that, was on it. And so, but yet when they go out with their friends, they don't have the guts to be honest, and that they enjoy it just like the next person.
But I think it's the shame though. It's the shame that people still feel around sex and sexual freedom that drives them to project that onto the people that are actually bringing them pleasure, because they're ashamed of the fact that they've just been masturbating to X, Y, and Z, that, this isn't what God wanted, or what, whatever other bullshit.
All the morality, yeah. Yeah. Let's talk a little bit about the environment when someone comes in. Okay, so let's, for someone who, let's say, is an adult online actor or actress, who's in Free the Kink, who sees this interview and says, I really could use the help. What's that environment like for them?
Most of our therapy is done online now.
Okay.
Which is fantastic. That's one of the huge positives from the pandemic. Folks were forced to work from home, and many have discovered that actually, you can provide the same level of therapeutic service via a video platform. So the way that it would look, you'd come onto our website, click resources, as you can choose support groups, or if you want to just watch our webinars as a maybe an entry in. Or if you wanted to apply for the one-on-one therapy, then there's an application form there. And that application form is super, super secure, HIPAA compliant. It's through a site which is specifically for the medical industry. So it's, it's almost airtight as anything can be. Okay. There are only 3 of us with access to that. One of them is myself. So because people do get very nervous about inputting their details, particularly when you're putting your copies of your ID, your real name, linking it to your performer profile. That
was one of the questions I was going to ask, was about the privacy and the security, because I know that's going to be a topic that people ask. So I also saw something on your site about a company called 7 Cups. I'm not sure, what is 7 Cups?
So 7 Cups is it's a separate platform that provides a listener service for anybody, and they also provide therapists, but that's completely separate to Pineapple Support. But what they've done is they've kind of given us a section of their website, almost kind of white labeled it, and so if you come through our website onto 7 Cups, the listeners that you'll be connected to, the volunteers, will have signed up specifically to provide care to people working in the adult industry, and you won't be able to access anybody else, and vice versa. So it's the slight problem we have with that is if people do delve a little bit further in, they can get onto the main site, of course, but we have no control over that. There is a great big warning banner that comes up on our website saying, "You're leaving Pineapple Support."
Okay.
Do not get
on. Right. I also read that, and this may have changed since the pandemic, but I also read that you do have in-person therapy based on, if someone has, they live somewhere. Now, with that being said, that's got to be quite costly to you guys provide, right? Or is that in the same ballpark?
The same price.
Okay.
Same price. Whether if you're able to get to a therapist's office and have in-person therapy, then that's great. If not, then it's online. It's the cost is no different to us. What we do provide at some of the big performer shows, for example, AVN, which is huge. Yep. We have generally four therapists on site who will be available for anyone there who needs.
Oh, very nice.
Support at the time, because it is overwhelming. We have it at a new venue this year, which I'm hoping is going to be a little bit different, because I don't know if you ever went, but when the AVNs.
I'm gonna go this year.
You're going this year? Oh, we shall meet.
Absolutely.
Wonderful.
It'd be great.
But yeah, at the Hard Rock, you know, I mean, there are thousands of people, tens of thousands of people. It is wow. And you walk from the convention floor, and you have to walk through the floor to get to your hotel room, or to get through, you know, and you've got to go through all the bars and everything else. And the fans are there. I mean, I did used to be a fetish model, but before that, my best friend who helps me run the organization has never been in the industry. Her first time in the industry was when I took her to AVN, and people were stopping her saying, "Oh my God, I love your movies. Please, can you find it for me?" And if you imagine that's somebody who's actually never been in a movie, compared to the other girls who people have seen them, and there's going to be more people stopping them. So it's not like you're on your booth doing your signings, and then you can go, okay, I need a little bit of space now.
Yes.
It's there. It's 24/7, and there's all the parties and all the temptations and everything else, and it gets.
I can imagine that the pressure is always on, you know, especially at somewhere like AVN, you know, or XBiz. I mean, it's gotta be overwhelming. So I just think that's why I was so excited about, you know, to at least show FTK, my community, hey, look, here is a resource. And also, I want and listen up, FTK, I want you to support Pineapple Express any way you can. $20 a month, $100 a month, anything will help. So we're going to make sure that we put that in both the description and in the video so people can know where to go to support.
Thank you.
What are some of the biggest things? I mean, we try to keep these to a half hour because I know you're busy, but I really want people to know, is there anything that we didn't cover that you want people to know about Pineapple Sport or how they can help you?
How can people help spreading the word? If you're in the adult industry and you want to donate regularly, we have a scheme called Pineapples United, and this is actually going to be launched at the January shows at XBiz and AVN. But the resources are already available. But we now have membership benefits. So if you pay, it would be as little as $10 a month, you can get 10% off your legal fees. You can get 10% off your social media and marketing. You can get 3 months free and chunky discount off your website hosting. And you can also get $10 off each testing with Clear. So your STI testing each month, every 2 weeks, sorry, you can get a discount on that as well. And we're constantly adding to that. So if you are in the industry, be sure to go down to Pineapples United rather than just donate. And then that means that you'll be eligible for all of these discounts, and they're going to keep coming and keep coming. So that's something we're really excited about. And if anyone wants to get involved with our fundraising, we're always looking for help with events. We've got lots of different committees. We're always looking for ambassadors and people to work with us online, social media. I am a social media dinosaur. I didn't think that I was, but apparently so. So
Almost like to change very quickly, right? I love the member benefits. I actually was just talking with Humberto the other day, and he was telling me about that. And if you're a member of the Pineapple Support, I mean, that's $240 a year. That doesn't sound like a lot, but when you're a performer and you have to pay your own testing every 2 weeks, that adds up real quick.
Yeah, and for as little as $10 a month,
yes,
which is $120 a month, $120 a year, you're saving double just on your testing. And then if you look at the addition, you have the legal fees, the web hosting, the social media marketing, and we're looking to get someone on board to provide discount lubricants, discount toys, discount lingerie. So all the things that you would need on a daily basis as an adult industry professional, we want to help you get those at a discount price.
That's awesome. I might be able to help you with some of that as well. I'll look into some of my friends and contacts and email you on that, because I think that I can help you with that. I am just very excited. Thank you so much. Please, FTK, support Pineapple Express. Leya Tanit, thank you so much.
Pineapple support.
Pineapple support.
You're showing the colors there, darling.
Well, we'll see if we can't edit that one out a little bit. Oh man, I am so sorry about that. but look, it's really exciting what you guys are doing, and it's just really absolutely necessary. And we need to all come together to support you, because everybody in my community watches every performers. I mean, it's something that we all need to do, support this, because if not, I mean, we're not helping the people who have helped us in a lot of ways. A lot of people learn a lot of things from the adult entertainment world.
And this is why I started Pineapple, because I've been a part of the BDSM community for so long, and it was such a strong family unit that supported me, and it was nice to give back.
Thank you so very much for joining. Go enjoy your dinner. Enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you so much for joining me. And if you ever need anything, if you need something to promote something, FTK is available to you. Just email me and we'll get it out right away.
Amazing. Thank you very, very much. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely. Talk to you soon.
Talk to you soon. Bye for now.